What's up, y'all? West of the 110 back again. Jog Talk Morning Buzz. What up, Grand Rising, everybody? It's 5:54 a.m. here. Sorry for the late start. I was sitting here bullshitting, tell you the truth, reading a book. A lot of people do read still. And, a lot of information can be found in books. So that's why I said I came up with this. I said, man, who protects the protector? I know a lot of men can feel this. A lot of men out there feel the same way. Um, Society has gave people a voice to express whatever the hell they really feel like. Now, don't get me wrong. You always have a freedom of speech amendment. But just saying, like, just morally, some people know what to say, when to say it, and what not to say. Um, so I just say this: who protects the protector? So I hope everybody had a good week. It's Friday. The week is winded down. A lot of people have gotten their day over with for those who work overnight. A lot of people going in this morning. A lot of people getting up right now. A lot of people don't want to go to work. A lot of people calling off. Some people drank too much last night. Some people said, damn, tomorrow Friday, and started turning up on Thursday and forgot that they had to go to work Friday. That's real. So some of the stuff that we're gonna dive into this morning. We always talk about what's going on in California, the updates and stuff like that. Yes, it is a close race. And mind you, let me give you the weather. It's about 59, 60 degrees right now. It's like partially cloudy in South LA, downtown LA. From where I'm at, we can see the areas pretty well. Um, I was outside this morning, my normal jog, 10 by 10. This is what I tell everyone. Shout out to my buddy I used to work with, Will Tam. He's in the walking and jogging itself. I recently shared some with him, 10 by 10. It's something I've always been doing. Well, like I say, I'm not gonna say always. I started taking health serious December 2019. It's sort of like a day you'll always remember because it's like a day you feel reborn. And one of the good things that I did coming up out of that was I didn't get into it because I was unhealthy. Yeah, I mean, in the fact if you're overweight, you're unhealthy. But I was over the weight limit that I should have been for my body frame, according to the BMI scale and the Negro scale. But December 2019, I remember the beginning of December 2019, I had got sick. This was before like COVID. I had got tested, but I didn't have COVID. But it was just a weird feeling, man. Like I didn't feel good at all. Like it only lasted in me for like one day though. Because I was jogging. I had started jogging by then. I had already started. It's funny, like a week prior to that, I had started back my workout. Then I got sick a week after. Then I just kept working out, and it's like I sweated it out in one day. But I say that to say this. Um, you'll always remember that day. Especially when health is become a primary in your life and people start to see results. And my thing I tell people is the biggest thing about health is not looking a certain way, it's feeling a certain way. A lot of people do it for the look. That's why they go to the gym. Me personally, you can ask everybody I know. I think in my life, like to a gym to work out, besides, in school or like athletic sports I played as an adult, I've probably been to the gym like 15 times, which is not a lot. And not saying, oh, I don't go because I don't work out. No, because I use what I have. I'm an outdoor dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of them guys that if I live near a lake, I would fish in at least people say, oh, I'll be in there every day. No, you're not gonna fish every day. But I guarantee you, if I live next to a lake that's like walking distance, like from where the places I've lived that were close to parks or whatever, I would be fishing, I would say 3 times a week. I don't care if I catch nothing or not, but I'm really out there to catch something. Um, if we had a lake That's something that'll be nice. I wish they put a lake in some of the one of the LA city parks, allow people to fish. But who protects the protector? Again, I see a lot of men out there doing they due diligence, tongue twister, due diligence, and a lot of men out there taking their kids to school. And I'm not even saying just a certain race of men, but I see a lot of men of all races out there. But I'm speaking to my brothers. I see a lot of black men out there every day taking their kids to school, picking their kids up. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of men who work overnight. And the way certain jobs work. I mean, operate nowadays. A lot of people don't work Monday through Friday. Some people are working gigs that hell. I know a guy who works 2 days out the week, but his shift is like 16-hour gig. So it's like shit. That's like 32 hours in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So he knocks his shit out and basically 2 days out the week. I think he goes in on a Saturday to bust in 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on how you work. So some people are taking jobs and prioritizing their children now. See, back in the day, when I was younger, our parents, talking about like the people we hung out with, our parents were um workaholics. Every time you look up, it's work overtime, work. That's why a lot of the kids back in our days, the millennials, for real, that's why a lot of millennials was gangbangers. Let's be real. Um, that's part of the protection. A lot of men needed to protect the kids. Um, but my thing is, a lot of stuff like that, it falls under the radar. Um, a lot of things that we should know. A lot of us weren't taught that, and not saying that to blame anybody, but my thing is, it's still some people now who are waking up. You know what I mean? So this is what I tell a lot of people: just because you're woke or been woke, this person is just waking up. You can't expect them to know everything you know in a short amount of time, because a lot of people didn't gain the knowledge they did overnight. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of people, especially these brainiac men, women, whoever you are, you know, you may know more than the next person, but I guarantee you there's something that that person who you feel is an idiot knows, that is he knows something that you don't know. And that's a fact. You could believe that. So when you thinking you're smarter than everybody, I'm pretty sure there's something that an idiot knows that you don't know that could probably be helpful to you. Remember that. You can learn something from anybody. People say you can't learn nothing from an idiot. Yes, you can. You can learn a lot of shit. You learn what not to do, not to be like that person. Some people just overlook a lot of situations. Um, like I say, who protects the protector? Um, a lot of women need to wake up. A lot of women, y'all sitting there with a real protector. Um, a lot of women have the fake protection goggles on. They feel like because their man is big and strong and can protect them, and they man people fear they dude, or ain't nobody gonna fuck with they dude. This is why. But I know a lot of people and seen a lot of people over the past throughout different states with that persona. A lot of males with that, that with that woman who feel like she's just the queen because he's so big and protective, but the motherfucker couldn't even sign his name on a piece of paper. Me personally, I think that's the type of men that a lot of women want. An attractive, tall, strong idiot. So they can run the show and just point to the person they want him to beat up. He looked at me wrong. Beat that nigga up. Or it's over. That's the era I grew up in. We saw that shit in the 90s. You know, the type of women that we seen in the 90s growing up, we saw women shit out in the streets getting high all the time, you know, and these were considered the bras that the dudes were trying to fuck on. Like, you know, it's crazy. Back in the day, we saw the decent looking bras smoking weed, and in the hood, you saw some smoking sherm. And we were young kids, and we wasn't affiliated with that, you know. And matter of fact, y'all check out the movie Non-Affiliate trailer on YouTube. Nate, Naith, non-affiliates in the hood. Like I say, the non-affiliates who are around. People overlook them, the non-affiliates. And something I want to say to a lot of the gangbangers, because a lot of people who are non-affiliates, you have relatives who gang bang. You have friends you grew up with who gang bang. You got friends you with now who still gang bang. You got some uncles right now who still walk around talking about, man, that bad. Matter of fact, my uncle, he got a friend. One of his friends is from Rolling 60. He's an older dude. I'm talking about they damn near 70 years old. And it's just crazy because you don't hear him talk that stuff, you know, because he was like, man, I was doing this back in the day, you know, like when it was first starting, you know, but when we seen how it was going, we got out of it, went the other way, you know, some stuck with it. I said, well, hey, teachers on. Um, but when they get upset, they still bring up the name, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, bro, and shit. I'm like, man, that's funny hearing like a dude like almost 70 saying it, yeah. And then, you know, like I said, it's a lot of stuff still going on with them. Shout out to Boss Hog over there. Boss Hog probably like, man, damn, man, how do you know me? Shit, man, we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to stay across the street from his dad's store back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's just how far I go back before the gang stuff. It's so crazy. Like when you really grew up in LA, you know a lot of the people before the affiliations. You know, like some people, I ran into somebody who was a known gang member. I'm walking by myself like I always do, and he was with two people. You know, these dudes that he was with. You know, in the streets, you know that these were the weren't the niggas who as real as the dude I knew. But like yeah, I see the pop. I'm walking. He know me. I know him. What I'm supposed to do? Hey, how you doing? He started, yo, what up, B man? How you doing, man? Woo. And the other dude was looking at him and me like, man, you know this? Like, and but giving me a look, and I'm like, man, it's good. And we start chopping up, and they seen that I really knew this dude, and it gave them a persona like, man. It was like, damn, they sort of looked like I could be a regular dude and still knew people. I didn't have to follow nobody. It's funny. I got that look from them, and I'm like, kept it pushing. And he told them niggas, come on, and they follow right behind. That's just how stuff is in LA. Like I say, who protects the protector? That's just like the sheepdog out in the pasture protecting the sheep from those lone wolves or coyotes. Even some areas they've had mountain lions and depending on where you at. Even in other countries, they have videos on YouTube. Countries that have jaguars and shit. They snatching up sheeps and shit like that. Matter of fact, in Arizona, I don't know if they caught them or not, but allegedly they have a couple, or one, or maybe a couple, jaguars running wild in whatever that Tucson desert area somewhere around there. That's wild. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't gonna say wild because here in California, people don't realize. They say, "Oh man, you got mountain lions in California too." Um, shit, you never know. You don't realize. Yeah, they don't come around where there's a lot of noise and traffic. But my thing is, look at everything burning and shit in the mountains of California. Matter of fact, in South LA, a couple weeks ago, reported on 85th and Van Ness area, they had a damn they had a fucking a sighting of a black bear, baby black bear on a power line pole. This was reported on the Citizens app. Like, can you believe that? Was in the hood. 85th and Van Ness area. I don't know. Maybe it was trying to get to that Taco Bell over there. I don't know. You know what's so crazy though? I sit back and I look and I ask a lot of people about situations now. What up, Russ?
What's going on?
Nothing. I say I was doing a quick pop up, man. Who protects the protector? Like, Rush, maybe you could relate to this. You're a father, you're a male, you've been in the world about 60 years.
Oh, fuck
Uh
it, nigga.
um No, but I'm just saying, I had some conversations with people, and it's like, who protects the protector? You got the man that's taking care of the house, paying the bills, taking care of the family, and all that. Then you hear a lot of people, a lot of women say, "Well, God's gonna protect you." Well, He protects you.
Yeah,
So it's like, who protects the protector?
true. Yeah, that's a good question. I often ask myself the same thing. Uh, shit, I have not really found the answer to that. But I think if you're in the right situation, that maybe your family will act like will pour into you what you put out. I mean, they may not be the protection, but they may replenish you. Put it like that, because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
draining being the protector.
it sure is, man. People think, like I said a little earlier, that just my opinion. I feel that a lot of women want the big, strong, good looking guy that they can point they big, strong, good looking idiot. That's what they want, that they can point their finger and say, he looked at me wrong. Go beat him up. And if you don't beat him up, it's over. Oh, okay. That's that's just my persona. Well, LA women, they want to do like that, because I've always said, looking at the women now, like, comparison to the women that I seen growing up, like moms, aunties, and shit. A lot of shit they was doing. A lot of them come home from work, cook, clean, do all this shit. You know what I'm saying? With a smile on their face. A lot of people nowadays, they feel like all I got to do is work. That's it.
Right.
No, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really don't work on both ends, men and women. You got a lot of men who do that, who come home from work and feel like they don't have to do shit, but just kick their heels up. It's more to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's responsibilities that exist outside of work.
And I think that's where, and I said this also, I mean, for LA, a lot of the millennials, I think a lot of millennials turned out to be gangbangers because a lot of the parents focused more on work. Every time you looked up, it was, oh, I had to put in some, the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. People work, oh, I got to put in this overtime and this. A lot of people neglected their kids' time, and they focus on finance. I had to pay the bills, get this for my kids, but they neglected the time.
I mean, I don't think it's intentional neglection. It's
No, it's
more
not intentional.
survival. Right.
Yeah,
It's
not
more
intentional.
survival than it is neglect. You have to make a choice. Am I going to provide shelter, food, and lights for my kid? Or I can, be there. Then I'm not providing anything. So it's kind of like you got six in one hand and half a dozen in the other.
And that's true. And I think that's
Exactly.
why, and I think it made it harder for a lot of people now. I want to say from the ranges of probably 32 to 50, in that range. You know what I'm saying? Who has kids, because a lot of us dealt with, parents being at work. We knew why they had to work. Like, not saying we didn't know. We knew that. But yeah, did you want some of the time? Yeah, you did. But as you got older, it taught you that you have to find a way to provide and spend time with your kid. Because I think this generation is, especially black men, is taking care of their kids more than men in the 90s and 80s.
I mean, possibly.
Well, I know
Possibly. I haven't done
California.
the research on it. Yeah, I haven't done the
Well,
research on
the minimal research I did this a while ago, on a LA standpoint. I did it from a number and just a visual thing. Numbers wise, online, statistically wise, men all around in California are taking care of their kids more, and some are even taking care of their kids more at a number more than women used to back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot more single fathers now.
it. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think men have realized that their importance in their child's life. And in the past, I think it's been downplayed to the where you thought your whole significance as a father was just simply providing. But it does take more than providing. You do need to be available. You have to be present. and it does take time sometimes, and it's just the time. It's not about the money.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Sometimes
true.
your kids want you to be there. And I think
Yeah,
as fathers, in this generation, they're kind of taking that into more consideration that, hey, I need to be there. And, I just check or hey,
yeah, yeah. I think also too something that I've noticed. I've seen a lot of grandparents stepping up, taking charge of taking the grandkids, this, that, and that. And a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, the grandparents are supposed to do that." But me being 40, and so the people that I see who are around 60 now, taking their grandkids to school and shit like that. I go back about 25 years when I was a teen. These were the same women who was out running the streets doing whatever they do, wasn't taking care of their kids at all. Now they kids got kids, they making up like, oh, I'm gonna take care of my grandkid. I just want to say now, for the people that's always been in their kids' life, who took care of their children, and now they have the luxury of watching their grandkids. You deserve that, especially if you raise your kids. But for the people who didn't raise their kids, and now they got grandkids and want to be in their grandkids' lives and feel like they just the best people in the world, cut the bullshit. I see that a lot in LA. And what I mean by that, a lot of motherfuckers who used to smoke dope and now they clean and now they want to do the right thing and try to make up for shit they should have did with their kids. You ain't gonna never make up for what you should have did with your own children. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you apologize to them. Say this is what I should have did, what I'm doing for y'all kids. I should have did this to y'all. Then you can, it'll be different. That's just my opinion. I see that a lot. Um, a lot of bullshit. A lot of people try to hide the bullshit. A lot of people don't know how to apologize. That's like I say, who protects the protector? You want somebody to protect you and you treat the protector like shit. Then when it's time for the protector to protect you, then you play nice. Where does that work at? I mean, some people don't even pay attention to the shit. Some people just go about stuff every day and feel that if everybody else is doing it, it's all right to do it. You know what I mean? That how many women then turn what I mean by turn the trick, I mean not saying they out there on the blade, but just saying how many women that laid in the bed with somebody they know they really shouldn't have been with, but they seen their friends hopping from bed to bed and getting money from these dudes, so they want to work themselves into it. You see that shit in LA, that follower shit. That's like a whole want a protector. Like, oh, I need somebody to protect me. How would you want me to protect you from car to car? Shit, I'm not a protector, then I'm a pimp. I mean, it's getting closer to summer. A lot of the stuff you see, especially here in LA, is changing. They throwing everybody in jail right now. This World Cup, it starts in 3 weeks, SoFi Stadium. If you're within 15, 20 minutes driving range of SoFi Stadium, and you got some bullshit going on, you got a warrant or you behind on child support, you better not get pulled over.
yeah. So
You
they're
know
gonna start taking people to jail, huh?
that hey, a lot of people don't know. You probably remember this back when the Olympics was around too in America. Big cities was locking people up. They was cleaning the streets before these events. Look in LA. Hell, this one guy. He's 73 years old. He stopped me the other day. It's funny. Like I tell people, you don't realize who watch social media. This dude say, "Hey man, I saw you on this Facebook shit," and I was like, "All right, yeah." Um, I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "Yeah, man, I saw that one show, man." He said, "Man, it's a fucking travesty, man, that they did shut down Figueroa Boulevard." And I said, "Oh yeah, this dude really do watch the show."
I mean, they always try to clean up the city before major events, try to change the perception for the people who are coming in. But for the people, the natives, they already know the real deal. They know this is just a show. That soon as that event leaves, things are gonna return back to normal. They want to push
Man,
the homeless out, try to make it appear that we don't have a homeless problem, when in fact, yeah, we got a homeless problem. But I guess it's about portraying a certain image.
man, these homeless people in LA are wild. Like I say, they just stopped handing out paraphernalia from the city. Mayor Bass stopped that, but it was going on since what, 2018, 19. I remember working for the city of Los Angeles back in the day when I found out that a building over there by, I want to say by the US, not too far from that old general hospital or something, where it's a spot where you can go where they was allegedly supposed to give. I say allegedly because I never went in there, but this is what all the drug addicts told me, working in the parks. Yeah, we go right there. If we need some drugs, they'll give you two, but then you're limited, just one a day. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? I thought it was a lie. Then I seen, they said they were handing out paraphernalia. And I'm like, wait a minute. If they handing out paraphernalia, I mean, then this person said they can go to this place and get certain stuff. I'm like, it might be true.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that pretty strange. I said that's kind of contradicting, especially to some of the guys that we all know who still work for the city of LA and the Rex and Parks. It's kind of contradictive to these guys that you want them to keep the parks clean. It's one specific thing you got to do is drag the sand. You like at the beach with this little net thing, metal net, you drag it to get all the glass or whatever out the sand. You got to drag the sandboxes if you still have sand at a park, which a lot of them removed and put this rubber shit. No needles, no nothing. But if you handing out paraphernalia, how the hell you gonna? It's like it's a contradictive. You making your employees work harder. You handing addicts the needles.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean, I guess it's a multifaceted problem in so many. There's no one answer that's correct. Because, like I said, I understand what they're trying to do, but they're also creating another situation for the employees. So it's like, which one is worse? Which one is better? They're trying to fix one problem, but you're also raising issues with another.
Well, them cats in LA, I shared a video on social media the other day. Lady was walking down the street in downtown LA. Dude was so high, he literally had his thing out, both hands on it, like, beating his meat right on the street. And she was just like, "You are so sick." Like, I'm like, man, this dude, broad daylight out there. He just covered his head. He figured if I can't see them, they can't see me. Oh.
He got imaginary privacy.
Man, I was like, bro, this shit is wild, man. I said, and and stuff like that. People say, oh, don't get me wrong. They say, oh, homeless people are people. Yes, they are, but when you got homeless drug addicts who will pull their shit out in the middle of the broad daylight and start doing that, just imagine if some young helpless girl was walking by, he was that high and he was hard, what he probably would have done.
I mean, I don't think that's a homeless problem. I think that's or a drug issue. I think
no, I'm talking about the homeless addicts.
That's more of a mental health issue there. I don't care if you do have an addict. An addict ain't just gonna whip their shit out and start beating it. That's somebody who has a lack of awareness or something. So I'm thinking that's more of a mental health issue here.
Yeah, that, and along with they not getting the proper help they need, so they've been smoking rock cocaine, so that's why
right, that compounds the mental health issue, makes it worse.
That and that's why these cats is out there, because you have some people out there who still walk the streets. You see, because let me say this: not every homeless person is on drugs, and not every homeless person is mentally ill. Right. But for some of the homeless population that is mentally ill that we see in the neighborhoods we live in, we got a few people that sleep at the park. I've never seen them do drugs. They never gave me the impression they did drugs, but you could tell some of them may have a mental issue.
Right.
But for the ones who do have a drug problem with a mental issue, those are the ones that you watch out for.
Yep. You gotta be aware, because it could potentially be a problem.
There could be a problem. And also too, a lot of civilian males, you know what I'm saying? You got to watch out for them too in your neighborhood, because they going around fucking the drug addict women. Like real shit. They talking shit about him. I say, so funny, man. I seen this too when I used to live in Lancaster. Um, Dude always used to talk this shit, man. I cannot stand these drug whores. These fucking drug whores get on my nerves. And then it's like one night, shit, we was late at night in Lancaster in the summer. It's hot, 90 degrees at 1 a.m. So,
Mhm.
We out in the streets, man. And I seen this guy, and I'm like, damn, the same broad he was talking about, he like, get in, I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, that, I was like, wow, I was a little younger. I said, that's what opens you up to stuff. Sometimes knowledge ain't in a book. It's some shit you're gonna see that bring you to realization. Um, but yeah, like I said though, man, what's so crazy? On the topic, who protects the protector? That's like in a lion, the pride. The male lion who's in charge of that pack. Who protects that guy?
Like I say, hopefully the pride will be his backup and his supporters as well. Since they're getting protection, hopefully they'll come to his need.
Yeah, that can be. And what's so crazy too? Also, something that I thought about. What is if a lion can hunt? When if I guess if the pack, they send the pack of female lions out to hunt, but if they taking too long or something like that, and if the male lion is around, he'll go snatch the prey that they've been, just patiently waiting at the right time to attack. He'll say fuck it and go in, with all of them and take that one down because ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like why that's just is that a pimp mentality? Let me let these female lions get it, but if they don't get it, let me show you how it's done.
I don't know on that one. Those are the laws of nature. So I can't really elaborate on that.
I mean, I say because we're part of nature too, just that we're not animals, but we are part of
We're a
this
different type
natural
of animal.
society. Huh? Yeah, we're a different type of animal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we look at animals as harmful, but I think humans eat more animals than animals eat humans.
I think, look, we are arrogant animals because unfortunately, we're self-aware. And I think we give ourselves too much credit.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, the self-awareness we have. Um, the self-awareness we have. Damn, what time? I'm looking at the time. You know what? Hey, speaking of that shit, hell, my mom might be knocking on your door in a few hours.
Why? She on the flight?
I don't know. I think they down there somewhere.
You say, I think. He's like, I don't know where they at.
No, because I guess the funeral or something. Yeah, but I just popped in my head. But nah, man.
That was in Louisiana, right?
But yeah, they got to stop in Houston.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I'm trying to think, man. Shit, I'm all thrown off, man. My little boy prom champagne party tomorrow. Well, I say little boy, shit. My oldest boy, I got 5, 1 down. I got 4 to go.
Y'all renting the Rolls Royce and shit?
None of that. Like I say, God willing, and few friends that I do have through music and this, people have businesses, with their own limo companies. Shout out to Optima Limo Service, Black Car Service, LLC. My boy, he hooked us up. They got a fairly decent price if y'all need I'll post a whole. I'm not gonna say too much because I'm actually making a video for him, and the process of it's almost done. But it'll be on social media like in about, I want to say 24, 48 hours, because I'm going to utilize their vehicles for the video tomorrow. But they got a good black car service, $100 an hour for blacked out Suburbans in the LA County. It's not bad, man. So, stay tuned to the Facebook tomorrow for the commercial for that. And my boy, I ain't gonna say his name. I'll stay tuned for the other video, but he's a He's a sweater designer. He makes a lot of stuff coming up on football season, so he better have my text and shit ready. Also, too, shout out to our cuz Reg down there in Port Arthur. He does the text and wear also too, man. Reggie Roy. I gotta hook up with him too. We hooked up. I talked to him last season, but man, Texans pissed me off so CJ Stroud pissed me off so much in that damn Patriots game. I ain't want to buy shit. Like that shit really pissed me off, man. But uh Texans will be in the Super Bowl in LA this year. Super Bowl's in Inglewood SoFi this year, so a lot of people already real shit. A lot of people already surrounding areas. They got Airbnbs that people have already booked for the Super Bowl week because they supposed to have some kind of big event. The Nokia Center is right there, literally 56 feet walking from SoFi. That used to be where the Lakers played. The Great Western Forum.
Right,
So they have all kind of events that's gonna go on in Inglewood for that whole week, not just the Super Bowl weekend. It's Super Bowl week, so people already rented up little shit around there. So you got World Cup in 3 weeks, started in some games here in the Inglewood area. I think it's 8 games at SoFi. Olympics. Then, before Olympics, you got World Cup, Super Bowl, then Olympics, and not to mention the concerts going on at Nokia. So it's a lot of shit that's finna be going on in LA, well, the Inglewood area. A lot of people who come to LA, they used to come into the Hollywood area, but Inglewood is the new spot because from Inglewood you go west, you hit the beach, Dockweiler, Manhattan, Santa Monica, Venice, Redondo. That's where all you have all the bars, and it's gonna be a lot of partying going on. So if you can make it out to LA around that time within the next 3 years, I guarantee you, if you ain't got no pussy in your life, you gonna get something in. Like, let's be real. That's it. But yeah, man. Hey, what's going on down there, Russ? I was looking at one of y'all former state representatives out here in California, Miss Jasmine Crockett. She's out here in LA helping endorse one of the people running for governor, Javier Becerra, which a lot of people found crazy. They was like, when the hell does politicians like that or former politicians travel to another state to help somebody win an election?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. Like I said, she's pretty popular down here.
Yeah.
But I don't know why she would be traveling to another state. But I guess it's the Democratic support, I guess.
And nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is like that. It's so crazy, the demographics. Like I've always said, Houston and LA are similar, but they're different. Like and not even just them two places. I've recently seen a story where Fat Joe said he had somebody from California come out to New York. It was a Hispanic Mexican guy, and he said that when he brought him out there, that Fat Joe said, I took him around, and when we went to this one spot, the fellas was there to, he said, my niggas, my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And old boy pulled me out to our side and say, what you doing in here? Like, he said, what you talking about? He said, we don't fuck with blacks in California. And Fat Joe told him, well, if you don't fuck with blacks, I can't fuck with you, but just to say that, I say that to say this is like, people like Jasmine Crockett, they come out to California to help endorse somebody get in office who's not finna look out for the better judgment of black people. You know what I'm saying? So who's gonna protect the black people? And you got somebody like her coming out here to help this guy and all of his agendas, which a lot of them, the ones who aren't Republican in California running, the only thing they have in mind is to oppose what Donald Trump has going on. I have not heard one of them say what are they going to do to help Californians. Only thing they're saying, you can Google it. It's right there on their commercials. We're going to stop Donald Trump. Like, how are you going to fucking help Californians? That's what I want to know. I don't, when it comes to local shit, I pay real good attention to local stuff. I don't, when it comes to that, say not getting into that, but Yeah, I just found that weird. Her coming out here to help endorse somebody with the demographic. Like I said, you coming out here to help this guy who represents a large population of the Hispanic votes in California. But in California, you have multiple Hispanic gangs who still write "nigga killer" on the wall.
Right.
So I just want to know where I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all it is. Trying to make sense of it, make light of the situation. But Miss Crockett, if you could stay your ass in Texas, stay your ass in Texas. Don't come out here with that bullshit. Cause you see people was looking around, didn't even know who the fuck you was. There was a young lady there who posted on her social media, said that, it was some people looking at her like, basically like Hispanic lady, like, who's this black chick?
Yeah. And that's
So
understandable. Shit, like I say, if she's not from California, so she's not going to get a lot of publicity out there. And as far as her connection with the candidates, like I say, it's probably because they're Democrats, and who knows what other deals may be going on there, you know?
yeah.
But I'm sure she still has other political aspirations.
Well, I wish her the best, just like the young lady in Chicago. The I can't remember her name right now, but the Chicago Flips Red. The black lady that's been on it. Her and her husband. Um, I hope she wins. She's running for mayor. She seemed very passionate about it, and you know what I'm saying. So I mean, I think it need a change up there in Chicago. The only reason I say that because like on my pop side, a lot of the people from Arkansas went up to Chicago back in the days. So um, it's a lot of shit up there in Chicago, man. I've actually worked in Chicago for a few days, and it was wild, man. Like this shit is like really wild. Um, and it's just sad, you know what I mean? Like a place like Chicago, a lot of history, historic events, a lot of legends passed through there, still live there. Shit, MJ put Chicago on the map. And it's like, man, Chicago shouldn't even be like that because it's a predominantly black city and a lot of Mexican influence in Chicago too. People forget about that.
It's a lot of Mexican influence in America right now, period.
Yeah, well, you know what's so crazy though? Something that shows how the numbers are lowering, like at my son's school. Um, they usually would have a graduation that's coming up on the field, but now they're bringing it to the auditorium
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of those ICE raids in California, a lot of people left school, a lot of people were detained, kids scared to come to school. I'll say this, usually you have about a out of 100% of the kids who enter like 8th to 12th grade or something like that, that's finna move, well, 8th that's moving to the next grade, you have about 60% who will walk the stage. This year they only got like 30.
Uh-huh.
And that's not due to education purposes, that's due to ICE raids. A lot of people took their kids out, and some people who were deported and sent back.
Yeah.
So some people may say, oh, I don't see where the ICE raids affected people, but look at the numbers like that, a 60% down to 30. Now you see it.
Yeah. Like, oh, I know you saw that post I did on Facebook about the situation that went on in Minnesota where they tried to paint the Somali lady like she was the mastermind and ended up convicting the white lady.
Oh yeah, I saw that too, man. I commented, I saw that. I saw that too, man. I read up on that, and like I say, get them all. Shit, they
But
they're
I'm
gonna
just,
try. They're gonna
but it's
try to
funny
pin it
how
on
they
them.
put the Somali right. They want to put it on the immigrant. And that's the news. That was in the news for weeks.
Yeah,
But when they convicted this lady, they slipped. They didn't make the news. That was like very short, That was
yeah.
not so that didn't support the narrative in which they're trying to push forward. They keep trying to push this narrative that most of these immigrants are just straight criminals and they doing nothing for the country. And in fact, look, it was a white lady was a mastermind behind this shit. But they let
Yeah.
them tell it. It's the Somali.
Well, I think I said this before on a few shows ago. Like, it seems the underlying message that America's trying to send: if you want to scam America, you better be American.
You better be a
I,
white lady.
I mean, basically, that's what
A
it's looking
white
like.
a
Like,
white person. If you want to scam America, you better be a white person.
real shit. Like, don't come to this country. You're gonna scam us. We already got enough scammers.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, that's true.
So I mean, that's just what it's looking like. How it's being displayed on media. Because look how in California, they uncovering more fraud out here than they doing in Minnesota. But you don't hear about it because the people that they uncovering, yeah, are they handling the situation? Yes, a few of them have been charged and in jail now. Some have been detained by ICE, shit like that. But you don't hear about it because they're not like Hispanics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're Europeans or fucking, like from Russia or Asia, some shit like that.
Yep.
So that's just like right now, the number one illegal immigrant in America is not a Hispanic, is Asian, Chinese, I believe.
Uh,
But do you see them ICE raiding
yep. They're
Chinatown
not the
in
face.
LA?
Right. They're not the face of this new immigration support or whatever. But they're not
Yeah,
the face. They want to paint the Hispanics as the face of it, but in reality, they're not.
they're not. And that's the thing that really gets me about a lot of bullshit is because from the Hispanic culture is we've all been entwined, the blacks and Hispanics, for years in LA. And all of a sudden, through media and all these other racial ethnic groups, they created tension amongst us where basically the blacks and Hispanics hate each other in LA. Like,
Right.
really, a lot of people don't realize it's that deep. But when you come out here, it's like, damn, man, that motherfucker, like you see little kids walking by an older black dude giving him the main mug like he'll smoke him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that shit. You know what I mean? And like, my wife, she get mad because like me speaking fluent Spanish, and a lot of people in the neighborhoods where I go, they know me and they'll speak it to me and I speak to them. And it's like, damn, she see how the women will speak, but they won't speak to her. That's their culture. They'll talk to a black man, but it's fuck a black chick.
Uh,
But it shouldn't be like that because a lot of older Hispanic guys I know or their kids I grew up with, they have black wives.
right.
It's that new age shit, that late 90s, early 2000s shit, gangbang shit. A lot of that shit is cartel mind frame. A lot of you see that on the streets. Everybody, even the young kids the Hispanic kids that have never gangbang in their life. Once they get a little older and start going to the barbershop and get their hair lined up like their brother, then next thing you know, they talk about they fucking with the cartel. No, real shit. I mean, like I said, I grew up playing soccer with a lot of these guys.
And what
Guatemala,
I
Mexico.
found out is that the ones who look like brothers is the ones who aren't hooked up with the cartel.
Yeah, like
Them is the ones not hooked up with the cartel. It's the ones who, yeah, that's straight Mexican. He the one who got the plug with the cowboy boots, with the ostrich skin boots and the big belt buckles and shit.
motherfucker. What's it like that video of remember that movie? I don't know if you've seen that movie, End of Watch.
No, I haven't seen it.
When you get a chance, check that out. They got I think this was based on a true story about some LAPD cops, if I'm not mistaken, or part of the story was true. And I guess allegedly they ran up on a house. Not to tell you the story, they ran up on a house that was a stash house, and of course, you fuck with somebody's stash house, the cartel gonna look for you.
Right.
And these happened to be two cops. So this is what the story was about. But they had a scene in there where the guy was they had called the boss, but they showed the boss from surveillance. Like America had, eyes on him from America in Mexico. They saw him picking up the call, they intercepted the call, was listening to the call, and the boss was giving the orders from Mexico to America on to kill these cops. But the way he was dressed, he was standing next to a horse with boots on, a big snakeskin belt, big ass sombrero, and a gold Colt 45, gun on his waistband.
Yeah.
This was the shot caller, not the dude in LA in the Benz and a Rolls Royce. That's the little guy.
Right. Yeah, like I say, the ones that look like brothers, they don't have nothing more than you done, really. Shit. That's the ones that you know the real ones.
Yeah. Because like they say, that's in anything. You know, the people who runs everything, even in the music industry, you're not going to see them.
Right.
So that's just common sense, man. Oh man, but like I say, shit, man, I was just hopping on real quick. Shit, I was only planning on being on for like 10 minutes. Man, why don't you go ahead, shout out what you got going on, man. If y'all need an attorney down there in Texas, you know what I'm saying, or not Texas, Houston area, or if you need consultation everywhere, man, you hit up my boy here. Give me your info, Russ.
So Stringfellow Taylor and Associates. The local number is 832-742-0700. Well, it doesn't matter where you're at. You know, everybody got a cell phone now, so long distance doesn't apply. So just give us a call.
Yeah, y'all shout him out. I got a little message. Somebody said I'm calling.
Sure.
Yeah, man, but like I say, man, who protects the protector? Hey, a lot of people going into Friday, you just getting off of Memorial Day weekend last week. Some people still hung over from that weekend and ready to go to sleep. You're gonna get your rest in. But as soon as you sober up, y'all gonna be drinking that same night. Pay more attention, be vigilant. A lot of y'all women sitting here with men, and a lot of y'all women, let's be real, if y'all living that alternative life, y'all sitting there with another woman who probably is the woman of your life that you wanted. You got to stop bullshitting with yourself. A lot of people don't appreciate time. They value money over time. You can always make money. You can't make time. Once you catch a body in the bed, you can't get rid of it, especially for women, men. Don't get food. Stay out of Thailand. If y'all seen the video I seen posted on social media, you don't know what you're getting over there. And that's just like in life. I say that because you can go to Thailand and get food, just like in life. So a lot of y'all women, don't fool yourself, because men have woken up in the last 10 years. Their value is higher than ever now. And a lot of men know that. So if you have a good one, y'all better keep them, because there's a lot of these hoes out here looking to put their head on somebody's cock.
All
But
right.
But yeah, man, this West of the 110, man. We finna get into this weekend, man. Let me see what we at, the 28th. So by the time we get to Monday, it'll be June 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So yeah, we gonna close this May out, get into this June. Summer will be here. It's gonna be a fun ass summer. I already know it, man. I got a lot of shit lined up. We gonna get in with y'all though. It's West of the 110. Real talk on in. We just take a break, man. Thanks for jumping in, Russ.
All right, no problem.
For